What's up, guys, ladies and gents? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing this. It's the BougeRV Sunflow 30 amp MPP solar charge controller. The model number is BJ2430N. Like I had mentioned in my previous videos, I did a lot of work to my RV and I never really filmed it. This isn't an unboxing. I'm going to go over the manual with this so you guys know what you're getting. The manual is pretty extensive. BougeRV, use your manual, negative ground MPPT solar charge controller. Well, 30 amp. Works pretty good. I'm happy with it. With the 400 watts that I have on the roof, it works pretty good. The max wattage coming in for this particular charge controller is 450 watts, but you can manipulate it with running your panels in a series or parallel configuration. It's all on how you do it. But I'm happy with it. It's something I've been using for a while. It's not something that I've just taken out of a box. I've been using it, and it's pretty accurate. What I do with all my charge controllers, I'll let them run for a while, and I'll look at the voltage on the screen and the amps, and I'll take my meter out to my batteries and get a direct reading off of my batteries. And it's pretty accurate. It's really accurate. Under a half a watt difference, but that's not bad because you're running a lot of wire from the bottom of this to your battery, which is going to give you line loss. So it's accurate. It works pretty good. And like I said, I've had it. I've been using it. It's already hooked up. Works good. Your float voltage, your equalizing charge, you can change all them parameters to where you want them, depending on how often you're going to use the battery. Me, I make sure my battery never goes over 14.1, because if you go too high, it's not going to really hurt the battery in a boost, but the battery won't last as long. So you got to find that comfortable rating. I never go over 14.1 on a boost, ever. Not ever. Not on any battery. Lithium ion, you might be able to get a little bit more, but nah, just 14.1's fine. This has a load on it too, where you can hook up a small light. I know that sounds funny because you're charging off the sun, but if you have this charge controller, say you have it in a shed in the backyard with 400 watts on your roof, you can hook up a little light off to that load, and you'll have light in your shed without having to run converters and inverters and all that other stuff. You just hook it right up to it. And you can also set the time on that load. You can have it come on at a certain time, come off at a certain time. You can set it to where as soon as the charge controller doesn't detect light hitting them panels, it'll shut off. And then when the light comes back on from the sun, it will turn the load back on. It's pretty neat. That's a kind of a good idea. Like I said too, this has the lithium battery low temperature charging protection mode. It's good to have in these charge controllers. A lot of these smaller charge controllers, 30 amp and under, they don't have that protection, and some batteries, lithium batteries, don't have a BMS sensor in them. If they do, it's pretty simple, but you get a charge controller, that's something you want to look at. You want that low temp. Load short circuit protection, charging current, constant voltage output of lead acid battery. I'm just going to go over this real slow. You guys can pause it. I'm not going to read it all. That's the stuff, those are the features that it has. And here's your interface overview. It tells you everything here. It tells you if your load's on, which is that little light bulb, on or off. It tells you what's coming in, what's going out. It tells you the temperature. There's your temperature of your battery. It just has a battery little mode that goes with it. It's called an RS485 communication cable. That's what you tape it to your battery somewhere, or on the side of it, or if you have a battery bank, put it in the middle of the batteries, and then that will control the temperature. It'll tell the battery to shut, or the charger to shut off. It's pretty informative though. This right here, this tells you the charging. Sun goes into there, to the battery, and there's little arrows, and then to the load. If you got your load on, it goes to the load. or if it's got a feature that you're looking for. That's why I like going over these manuals with you guys. I've said it before that I hate buying something and it doesn't have something that I wanted in it. You know, so a lot of people don't go into detail in the manual like I do, but I do. So, and this is the 30 amp. They have a 40 amp and a 60 amp too, but I didn't need that much, and it was on sale. I got it on Amazon I paid $85 for this brand new, and it was originally $120. So, and the 40 automatically identify voltage only applicable to lead acid battery. So if you have lithium ion batteries, jump in there and make sure you put it on 12 or 24. That's what I had said earlier in the video. There's one that says 12 volt, 24 volt, and then auto. Well, I'm sure it works fine, but if you can change this setting, don't rely on auto. It's right on the app too. It's simple. You can jump right in there and go. It comes standard in auto. You can jump right in there and go to 12 volt or your 24 volt system, and that's where it'll go. So if you have lithium ion batteries, I'm going to say this again, jump in there and change that. It only works for, it's only auto for the lead acid battery. It's pretty easy to do though. You can get right in there. You can pretty much do everything that you need to do on that app. You don't necessarily need to jump right on this, right inside of the system. You want to go do it. I didn't. I set everything up from the app. I never even got inside all this. I didn't need to. I just monitor it and everything was fine. So you got your float charging, your boost charging, your equalizer charging, your over-discharge. You can set all them parameters where you want that battery to start and stop. Anywhere from 11 volt to, I think, 16 volt. But you don't want to go to 16 volt and you don't want to go to 11 volt. That's for sure. That's too low and too high. But anyway, here's your load mode. I don't use the load. I mean, it would be convenient. Like I said, if you had this thing in a shed or in your basement where there's no light, it'd be nice to use, I guess. Have a light turn on automatically, you know. Keep the mice away from chewing on your wires, because we know mice don't like light. Yeah, it goes right in. They're good directions. BougeRV, you know, they've been around for a little bit. I would recommend it. Like I said, I've had it for 9 months, 10 months, and I've had no issues with it whatsoever. But it shows you how you can set when the sun comes out, the light will turn on. If your load is more voltage than what the sun is bringing in, or wattage, it'll turn it off so you don't drain nothing. Load short circuit protections, got that. Charging current mode. Constant voltage output of lead acid battery mode. Lots of stuff. And you can even set the voltage for that light control. You can set a delay, and you only want it on at a certain time of day. It'll come on for 1 hour, 16 hours, or whatever you want to do. And then there's an error code for it too. Something should happen. For a $80 charger that I got on sale from Amazon, which was normally $120 or $130, this is a good little charge controller. It does what I need it. It's small, efficient, and it works good. It works really good. Alright, here's the good stuff. Specifications. This is mine here, BJ2430N. That's a 30 amp, 40 amp, and a 60 amp. Maximum input of the PV system in the 30 amp, 12 volt is 450, 24 volt is 900 watts. That's what you can bring in, and the charge controller won't fail or shut off on you. The 40 amp is 600 watt 12 volt side, and the 60 amp is 900 watt 12 volt side. So you go to 24 volt, just remember you can double it. You know, this is 450 on mine. Double that, so you get 900. You can put 900 watts into a 24 volt system with this charge controller. Here's all your aspects on what it does. Rated low current, 20 amp. The protection grade is IP34 too, so I mean you can leave it in a shed if you wanted to, and you don't have to worry about moisture. Here's your battery perimeters. I didn't even know this was in here. Kind of gives you an idea of over discharge voltage, over discharge delay, your float charge voltage for each separate battery too, your sealed lead acid. Yeah, that's neat. Equalization charge. Now that's only for your sealed lead acid and your flooded. You don't need to equalize batteries or your battery with lithium ion or gel. So that's just a reminder there. And also your lithium ion don't get a boost charge. This video is getting too long. I'm going to kind of speed it up, but it shows you a lot of stuff here. It really goes into depth on how to set stuff up. Discharge energy, controller temperature, load mode. Not a bad little charger, let me tell you. Charge controller. Really, directions are good. Never had to call customer service yet. There's your errors again. It will show this though. Come on, camera, focus. You're equalizing, charge, boost charging, floating. So it gives you a little graph here on how that works. Pretty neat. And it explains what each one does too. What the equalizing does, what the boost charging does, what the floating charge does, and they're not little paragraphs either. It really describes what's going on. I'm not going to read it all though. You guys can pause it. Hopefully. This little camera's horrible. I can't tell if it's coming in or not. There's your product dimensions. Of course, you're going to know the more amps, the bigger it's going to be. That's it of that. We'll get into the. I'm going to open up the app real quick. This is going to be a long video. Nice little rundown of the app. That's what it looks like. I named mine Roof Solar because it's on my roof. It even tells you which charge controller you have hooked up. You can hook up multiple charge controllers to this app and run them off that one. You click that there. Opens everything up. Shows your current charge status. Shows your voltage, your current, your power, battery, voltage, battery current. I'm charging at 6.72 amps at 93.4 watts off a 400 watt system. Now, don't forget my panels are flat. That's why I have a deployable, so I can push them anywhere I want. And my batteries are charged. It's at a float. So it doesn't need all the wattage. And this little thing cranks it up. That's what it's pulling in, 2.31 amp. Well, it's charging my batteries with 6.69, 6.7, which is pretty good. You got history. You click on your history button. You can check your max charge capacity that day, your maximum charge power. See today, I mean it's winter time, and I only brought in 208 watts on a 400 watt setup, and my max charge current was 14.86. That was probably at noon. It's 2 o'clock now, so it shows you everything. You can click on this. It'll give you a graph, your different days. You can see what you brought in, maximum charge power, all that. And here's your perimeter set. You go on there. This is where you change your 12 volt. Now clicking on. See how it shows auto on the bottom? I hope you can see it. There it goes. I got off of that and I automatically picked my 12 volt setup and then confirm. And then you got your expert mode. That's when you can go in there and change all your perimeters and everything else up. Just from this. Shows your battery type. Yeah, it's a nice little it's nice. I like the little controller, and this video was super long. So with that being said, guys, hope you enjoyed. It is a nice little charge controller. I like it a lot. I tested it from this unit, what the screen was reading, and then I went down and I checked my batteries to see what it was only off about a half a volt, damn it. because you're going to get line loss through these lines. I would run the most thickest wire you can put in this. I think it was only supposed to take 8 gauge, but I use 6. I just use different size connectors, and I use 6 gauge because I go so far. You know, this isn't sitting right by my battery. It's not 2 foot from it. It's about 5 or 6 foot from it. So the longer you go from the charge controller to the battery, you need to up your size in your cable dimensions. So just remember that. That being said, guys, stay safe. Watch out for crazies because they're out there. I see them. And nice little charge controller. Like, subscribe. Need gas. It's not going to hurt you nothing. All you got to do is hit that button. Have a good day, guys. Later.